Welcome to the High Rankings podcast, brought to you by Dispensary-Growth, the preeminent SEO agency for dispensaries. Each episode will dive into the world of search engine optimization for cannabis dispensaries. We'll discuss the latest strategies and tactics to help your dispensary rank higher on search engines and attract more patients and customers. So whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, join us as we explore how to maximize your online presence and stay ahead of the competition in the rapidly growing cannabis industry.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of the High Rankings podcast. This week we're on episode 84. No special guests, so you don't get to see our beautiful faces, or mine. But here we are, another week, another episode. We are fast approaching Thanksgiving, which, what's the date today? We're on the 2nd.
Halfway through November.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, pretty wild that it's already halfway through November. I love this time of year. This is like the best time of year. You get to eat like a disgusting human being, and it's totally fine. You just eat and take naps. Maybe watch Naps Your Life, by the way. Maybe watch some football and just be a disgusting human. And it's the best time. It really is. It's just like very happy time of year. You know, there's still stress and everything, but plus I love Christmas music. There's some bangers out there.
Yeah, and you also have the cold weather, so you have that. You're fortunate enough that you have that as well.
Yeah, white Christmases are pretty cool. But
Yeah,
we've gotten one snow so far this year. It's not too bad, but yeah, we do have cold weather, which is nice.
Yeah,
I will say going to the mountains is pretty cool. By the way, I don't know if you ever decide to come to Colorado again, visit, because there's these things called mountains where you can drive up and you can see like cool stuff. It snows at night, and it's a lot of fun.
The last time you took me to the mountains?
Yeah, we got stuck in Sunday I-70 traffic.
Yeah, and I nearly peed myself.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, maybe I do, because I stopped at the side of the road and took a...
You stopped on the side of the road and peed, which I have pictorial evidence of. And then I think we ended up stopping at a dispensary somewhere to find a toilet.
That sounds right. Oh yeah, and we got mountain pizza.
We did. It was delicious. It was delicious.
Yeah. So if you ever decide to come back to Colorado, I know you won't. We can do that again. Mountains are pretty badass.
Minus you peeing on the side of the road and me nearly peeing myself.
Yeah, we can plan ahead this time.
Yeah, maybe. So anyway, besides the fact that we are fast approaching Thanksgiving, this is bananas. What else is new in your life?
So I booked my trip to Vegas. We're leaving on Black Friday. Okay, so we're leaving the middle of Friday. I want to say like 11 a.m. Mountain Time. We're going to buzz over there, and I want to see a couple shows, a couple restaurants. Did you ever go with us to CES?
No.
We were at the magazine?
No, I have been to Vegas one time. Not a fan. It's not a place that I would like go back to. It's just not for me. But I did eat at this not crazy. That's not the right word. So I just watched Casino for the first time the other night.
Yeah.
And that was a journey. The end was, Anyway.
Is that where Joe Pesci beats the guy with a phone?
Yeah, and puts a guy's head in a vice and his eye pops. Anyway.
I don't remember that. Okay.
It was a journey. But I say that to say this, that whilst we were in Vegas, we were there for like mostly business. The people that we were with took us to this Italian restaurant, and it was not on the strip, but it was off the strip. Like just slightly off the strip. It wasn't too far from the hotel that we stayed in,
Was it really close to the convention center, and did it have like the white and red tablecloths?
I don't know where the convention center is, so I couldn't tell you.
Did you take you and Riggs?
Me, Riggs, my husband was with us.
Yeah, Riggs took us. I'm pretty sure we're thinking of the same place. Riggs took us there during CES. It was like good Italian food. I was really surprised.
Yes.
It's very like stereotypical, almost trying too hard to be an Italian place.
No, so this place wasn't that. This place has been there for years and years and years and years, like years. And it really was like a proper, authentic Italian. It reminds me of an Italian place that we have here in Tampa that's been there forever. But it gave you like the vibes that like a lot of business had gone down in there. That makes sense. And it was so old school. They would just put like carafes of wine on the table and you would just basically help yourself. Like they're not charging you per glass or whatever. It was like old school like that.
Yeah.
You know?
It's got to be the same place.
But yeah, it's been there for absolute years. And the food there was like amazing. So I remember eating there. And then the hotel that we stayed in, they had a restaurant like some posh ass steakhouse restaurant in like, I don't want to say the bottom of the hotel because that sounds like dingy, but like I guess in the bottom of the hotel. And that was like, if you like steak, then it was delicious. That would be my dogs. I don't remember what hotel we stayed. It was a big hotel on the strip. That's all I remember. But I ate in a...
Did it have a casino in it?
Yeah, ironically enough, it had a casino in it and it smelled of like whatever they were pumping in through the air. Oh. It was like, it might have been, I don't know. I don't know what hotel it was. Anyway, it really wasn't far from the airport. I'm literally looking on a map trying to figure out which it was. I know it definitely wasn't Caesar's Palace and it wasn't Excalibur. I think it was the MGM. Yeah, it was the MGM. And there's a really nice hotel, a really nice like steakhouse in the MGM. And we ate there with clients one night. But that's basically what I remember.
We'd go to CES at our old job. There's a place that we'd always hit, not Joe's Crab Shack. It's like Joe's Stone Crab.
Yeah.
It's like an upscale, like seafood steakhouse. And you get stone crab there. It is so good. It is bang. I mean, Vegas has some of the best restaurants.
Yeah, for sure.
The country, right? Like they're so good. So I want to do that. I don't know if there's any comedy shows. It'd be cool to see like a hockey game there. Vegas called Knights. That's a whole experience I've heard. So yeah, just looking to get, and it'd be cool to get out of Denver for a couple of days. Yeah, just kind of change it up a little bit. Those are fun trips here. Just buzz over real quick and then just buzz back. And it's, holy smoke, it's basically December. Well, it is December when I get back. So that's pretty wild too. But
this year's gone flying by. I'm like, oh.
Yep, then I start thinking about holiday shopping and what I'm going to get everybody.
My dining room table is getting full of gifts.
You can get me what I need. I need a new rear wheel for my bike.
Getting you anything? You don't deserve anything. You're rude to me the whole year.
I smoked my back wheel on a rock at Trestle.
Oh,
kind of expensive. Yeah. So a rear wheel would be great.
Maybe you can ask your girlfriend to buy you a rear wheel. Seems like something she could do.
They only make these they make them here in Colorado. Anyway, yeah, so that's what I've been doing lately. What about you? And you're busy. I can hear the dogs, dags. I can hear the dags, by the way.
They're playing.
Their best life.
They are living their best life. What have I been doing? Not a whole lot, to be honest. It's kind of that weird time of year where like nothing's happening, but you're gearing up for things happening. You know what I mean? Like it's quiet because Thanksgiving is about to happen. And then right after that, you're into the Christmas season. So, the usual vet visits, doctor visit. Oh, I did get my blood taken the other day for my doctor's visit and stuff. That's really exciting. But yeah, it's like the quiet time before all the madness starts, really. The kids will be out of school in a couple of weeks. So that's crazy because they're off for that whole Thanksgiving week. Oh dear. We are looking at another storm here in Florida.
Oh yeah. I can hear the dogs going ham, by the way.
Yeah, I'm separating.
But this storm, this is not, you said not going to be a Cat 5?
Oh, no.
Cat 4s are like pretty.
Oh, well,
like
the cat only refers to the sustained winds and wind gusts. It doesn't refer to like flooding, and how bad that can be. And you can get bad flooding with like a tropical storm. So it's not going to be like a savage storm, mostly because the water temperature in the Gulf has come down a lot. So when you've got really high temperatures in the Gulf, it can add to the energy of the storm. And that's what can, produce those winds. So it won't be like, hitting us as a Cat 5. And we don't know. It's projected to hit Florida and our coast, the West Coast, but we just don't know like where. Apparently it's supposed to be like Wednesday, but we just don't know like potentially where this thing's going to hit or how big it's going to be when it hits. So, but it's really taken us to the end of hurricane season because hurricane season finishes on the 30th.
Oh,
so
geez.
Taking this down to the line this year. But yeah.
Oh, by the way, I'm going to Vegas on the 30th, just for reference.
No, you're going to Vegas on the 29th.
Oh, yeah, Black Friday. So I'll be in Vegas. I'll be acclimated on the 30th.
Good for you.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to sleep. Yeah, I've been trying to figure that out, too.
I don't even know. Where are you staying? In one of the hotels on the Strip, or are you going, like, Old Town Vegas?
We'll probably be on the Strip. Yeah. We were looking at Airbnbs last night, but we didn't see anything. And then we thought, like, well, if we stay outside of a hotel, then we have to worry about getting to the Strip and then breakfast. And then, because I'm going to want to eat all the food, like, all day.
Yeah.
So I'd rather just stay in a hotel. So all that to say, we're looking at, like, MGM or Caesar. I don't know if you have ideas, obviously. 100% open.
I've stayed in the MGM. I feel like all of the hotels are, like, pretty much same once you're in it. They've all got that awful sickly smell that they pump in and They're dirty.
Yeah, that's what I don't like is that you can't open windows, and I sleep with all my windows open. Like,
just turn the AC down as much as you can. I feel like Caesar's Palace would be cool to stay in, or the Bellagio because of the fountains. I feel like that would be pretty neat.
Bellagio would be cool. Yeah, we were looking at like Venetian, and I think it's right by the.
And also,
is the fountain in front of Bellagio or Venetian?
In front of Bellagio.
Oh, it's Bellagio. Okay, that's where like the drone shows are.
The Grand Prix will have finished like a week before you go, so you'll probably see some of the tracks still left there, and you could probably buy me some cheap merch.
Maybe you did get me a pretty cool shirt. I wear that shirt
I did. It was funny. I was at a location the other night, and I had my McLaren shirt on, and one of the people that worked there was like, "Oh, McLaren, yeah, I'm an avid car freak or something." And then there was like a mom and a son that were also in the area. And this is going to sound awful, but this kid clearly didn't know that I knew I was talking about Formula One. And so was kind of trying to like, not embarrass me, but like let it be known, you know. And obviously I've been watching Formula One since I was small. So I don't know, me and the car guy were like talking like history and years back, and like talking about Senna and Prost and like, and the car guy was like younger than me. He can't be in his 20s. He just graduated college. So he's, you know, young. And we're going back and forth. And like this other kid was, I don't know if it was the accent or just that I'm a girl. I don't know what it was, but like I got the real distinct impression that he was surprised that I knew what I knew. And like his takes on everything were like with no frame of a historical reference to what he was saying. Because me and this one guy were talking about the halo and why people didn't want it and whose lives they've saved and all this other stuff. And like I just felt like this one kid, I don't know, I felt like he was looking down on me, if that makes sense, even though like I had the historical frame of reference and he didn't. So I think it like took him by surprise. Like I think he thought I was just wearing the shirt just to wear the shirt, you know?
How old was the kid?
The kid I'm saying was probably in his early 20s. And then the other guy that was there, the car guy, was probably mid 20s, but he like go-karts and stuff. And he was telling me about this go-kart track that I kind of want to check out. And he was saying like how he would go with all of his friends and, you know, they'd all go together, and it kind of got addicting because he just wanted to keep beating his track time, like his lap time at the track. And he said it got so addicting that he ended up just going by himself just to try and beat his lap time with this go-kart track. And like that's how like most F1 drivers really got their start, was like driving go-karts when they were young.
Go-kart.
Yeah, but it's really cool outside track. Yeah, he's like, and they separate you according to weight, because obviously your weight's going to slow the car down. I kind of want to check it out because I don't know. I think it would be pretty cool. I can't really go kart because my back is obviously jacked, but man, I would love to just go and like watch it. I think that would be pretty cool.
I've done it once when I was 10, maybe, like a friend's birthday party, I think. It was fun. Of course, I was that person that would drive like ahead of everybody and then turn around and just like head on collision and think it was funny.
Not look where you're going.
Yeah, oh yeah. I drove like a crazy person. It's fun. What I really want to do is like rent some crazy, I don't know, like a supercar or something, just go on the track for a day and just buzz around, do some laps.
100%. Because in my mind, I am like Michael Schumacher in a car on a track, you know, in my mind.
Like driving normally you are?
No, I'm just saying, like, I think if I was in like a fast car with all of the safety equipment on a track, like I'm going to be Michael Schumacher, like, or Lewis Hamilton or Max Verstappen. I'm going to be that good in my mind. The reality of that is so far from that. I would probably be the slowest person on the track. I would like be braking for every corner. I wouldn't be able to find the apex. Like I would be jacked. But in my brain, when I imagine it, I'm like Schumacher for sure.
Yeah, I bet it's like 1,000 times harder than they make it work.
Yeah, 100%.
But that does look like fun. I really do want to do that. I picked up, well, my dad taught me how to drive, but I picked up driving pretty quick. I feel like I'd pick up like track driving pretty quick. I say that as I sit down in front of a computer, like where I live, in the comfort of my own home, not going 180 on a track.
Do you remember James that we met in Chicago?
Yeah.
He has raced sports cars in Vegas. There's a track there's a track out there, and you can rent some like really high end cars, and he has done it in Vegas. I'm pretty sure it was Vegas.
Oh, that's badass. Maybe we'll do that when we're there.
Yeah,
that's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
What a badass idea. I would like to try that.
Me too. I think I'd be faster than you.
That's a no. I can drive in reverse faster than you can drive normal, and better.
I don't think so. Like I said, in my mind, I'm Michael Schumacher. So anyway, moving on. We should do that though. We should do it as a challenge and put it on our YouTube.
I'd smash you. Like it wouldn't even be close.
I think you're full of shit. I think you underestimate me, but I think it would be fun to put it on our YouTube.
That would be fun though. Yeah. That'd be a lot of fun actually.
Okay, right. Anyway, back to what we're talking about. Episode number 84. Today, we are talking about how much bad SEO can cost you, like your dispensary, typically. That's what we're talking about. Because it's all very well saying like investing in SEO is expensive, and it can be. And we've used the analogy of rent versus a mortgage about how you should look at investing in your SEO. And then obviously the cost of not doing any SEO, which is basically your bottom line's affected because you're not reaching, new customers. But what if you don't really know what you're doing and you hire Bob from Craigslist who says he knows SEO, throws around a few words that sounds like he knows what SEO is, but doesn't? Like, how damaging is that to you? So that's what we're going to be talking about in today's episode. So firstly, we have to figure out what bad SEO is. So I'm going to let you handle that.
When I think of bad SEO, I think of low quality backlinks or like dead backlinks, keyword stuffing, and just like not having a plan, not looking at your competitors, not looking at your community, like your marketplace, and just really low level things like only focusing on blogs, not focusing on the end customer, and just like very, very like low level practices. But yeah, I think backlinks, low level backlinks, shitty backlinks, and keyword stuffing. And when we look at a website, I can tell like pretty fast now, of course, because it's all we look at. Not optimizing title tags and like shitty meta descriptions. You can just tell. And it's bad because we see it all the time. That's pretty harmful. It's pretty damaging to a website. It would be like in a car, it would be like having really shitty tires, very like $50 tires for like, I don't know, like an SUV. Like the foundation that it's supposed to take you somewhere. And it's like, if you hit like a pothole, even like a small pothole, it could just rip it all apart, rip your tires apart. That's kind of how I think of it. But bad SEO, how I think is like just AI content, bland AI content, keyword stuffing, no proper hierarchy to the website, and shitty backlinks.
Yeah, shitty URLs, no site maps, so you're not indexing your pages. Basically the opposite of what we tell you to do in our podcast.
Yeah, like not focusing on the three pillars of backlinks, content, and structure.
Because I will say that, like, there are people that go, oh, you work in SEO, so like you do keywords and, stuff. Yeah, that's true. But if you don't know what you're doing in terms of technical SEO, which we have podcast episodes on, so like I just said, URLs, sitemaps, all those kind of things, audits, that kind of stuff. If you only know how to find keywords and how to write content and how to put up content, and you don't know anything else, then you don't know SEO. You can't say that you're knowledgeable in SEO. So you have to be very familiar with the technical aspect of it too, because that plays just as big a role as your keywords and, putting up a piece of content. So it's an all-round thing, basically. You can't just do one element of it and be like, done. It's not going to work.
No, absolutely not. And just doing it once too. I think that's bad SEO too, is like doing one. Let's just do like you said, like not touch the technical aspects, not do a proper audit. Like let's just do like 5 blogs and expect your revenue to double. Like that's just a pipe dream. Like you're just in la la land at that point.
So let's say Bob come in and he's done some really shitty SEO. He's put up a couple of blogs on the same day, hasn't linked anything, hasn't done any of the technical aspect, hasn't run an audit. He's just looked up some keywords and thrown up a couple of blogs. SEO isn't necessarily known to move the needle immediately, meaning that day, but sometimes you can get a page ranking real quick, depending on a whole bunch of factors. But let's say Bob does that. Like, what would you consider like the real short-term consequence of that in terms of like financially?
Of just throwing up a couple like
Bob doing his best.
Well, I think immediately it's a lost opportunity. Yeah. So like not having a plan, not knowing what you're going to do over like X amount of days or X amount of weeks, I think that's a lost opportunity. So like right now we're middle of November. Bob were to do that now, you're going to miss out on Green Wednesday. You're going to miss out on, of course, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, holiday shopping, and basically your competitors are just going to bury you. You're going to continue to have low visibility to no visibility. If that's the case, maybe you have like some visibility online, but it's really not going to move the needle. And it's definitely not going to help your online sales. Like Nobody's going to go to your menu from a handful of blog posts, right? Especially if they're not researched, if they're not, you can absolutely do blogs to move the needle, but if they're just like real mundane, not brand specific, not, market specific, if they're just kind of thrown up on a website, using ChatGPT, it's definitely not going to do anything. And yeah, I think the biggest thing to me is that loss in time between Bob putting that up, like his time, his labor that he has to do that, and the missed opportunity timing for the dispensary that you're going to miss out on. Like I said, Green Wednesday, maybe if you do it in February, you're going to miss out on 420, and it's just not good. You're basically stepping on your own foot twice by doing that.
So it's more about what it's not going to be able to do rather than what it actually does do at that point. When you talk about missed opportunity, it's because it's not doing anything. Whereas if you'd actually have spent that time, money, and effort into doing something more along the lines of what we suggest, then you potentially financially it would have done something or or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Just listen to the first 10 episodes of our podcast. And get down with keywords, how to do keyword research, technical, the backlinks, the website hierarchy, the structure, and just come up with a plan. Just come up with something. Don't just throw shit on a website.
I mean, you can, but why would you?
It's not going to work.
Yeah. So that's more of like a short-term impact of shitty SEO. But long-term, like how damaging is it long-term?
Okay, so let's say that Bob does it. Maybe he's got like a handful of blogs. He does it first 2 weeks of every month. He does that 4 months.
Yeah.
And maybe the website gets a little bit of traction. And maybe structurally, from a technical perspective, the website is like www.dispensary.com/ this is how to roll a blunt. Like that blog post, like structurally, it won't work. It's hard for Google to crawl that. One, it's a terrible URL. Two, the website hierarchy doesn't make sense. Three, it's hard for Google to find that. So over time, it just compounds on itself and it makes it harder to fix, 4, 5, 6 months down the line. It can be fixed. It's just a pain in the ass. It's bad practices for the website. And then you have to you've got like a giant ship. And then you've got to what are those wheels called on ships where you have to sail a certain direction? What are those called? Why am I blanking on it right now? You have to steer to the north because you've been going south the whole time.
Like the wheel on it?
Yeah, like there's a specific name for it. Anyway, the point is it's hard. You can do it. It's hard to do. And it takes a lot of effort where it should have just been done correctly from day one.
Yeah. You got to write yourself when if you'd have done it properly, you'd have been going the right course.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where you can look at your competitors, see who's at the top of Google. And, that's kind of an easy way of doing it. It will save you some time. Look at your competitors, see what they're ranking for. Get a tool like SEMrush, plug in their domain, see what pages. Google ranks pages, not websites, web pages. See what pages are at the top of Google and see how the website is structured. Go through they have a strain library. Is it www.dispensary.com/strain/wedding cake? And then how is that /strain directory set up? How's that strain page set up? Are they linked together? And are they not linked together? Like what's that interlinking strategy? Yes, it takes time, but when you do it, it makes it so much easier to do it. Month 5, month 6. So you have to clean up your own shit from month 1 and month 2.
You're just like doubling the work actually, you're not doubling the work for yourself because now you got to undo all the damage that wasn't there before you started.
Oh, it's so gross. It's brutal. It's absolutely fucking, and it's like irritating. And oh god, now it's like, okay, if you're on these, let's just say blog posts, if one is like that, then chances are like the other 19 are like that. Then you have to go back and do it all again. You have to wait for Google to index that. Hope your sitemaps are tight, and then it's a fucking yard sale.
Yeah.
And someone who doesn't get their hands dirty with the technical side, what is it that you see where it's like, okay, this is not good?
Well, the first thing I do is look at the homepage because that normally is a good indicator of the amount of effort that's been put into a website. For me, the way that I view things. So I'll look at the homepage and see how's the homepage laid out? Is there call to actions that will take me places quickly? Are there any Google reviews that I can see? Is there too much on that page, too little on that page? Has it been, there H1s or H2s or anything? Are there any links? So immediately I can tell from looking just at a homepage before I go anywhere else, either there's been no effort put into this or minimal, or someone's known just enough to be dangerous, that kind of thing. And then I would look at the menu, look for locations, blogs. If they have a blog, how frequently is their blog, updated? Do they have locations? They have states, they have cities. So even without, I can look at the URLs Do they make any sense? How quick does the page load? Those kind of things that I can tell, but I do that for every website now. I'm so critical, like on every website now. But those are just things off the top of my head that I'm like, oh, okay, boom, boom. So when we are going to work with a potential new client and you'll be like, check out this website, like, let me know what you think. Like already there's a checklist in my head of like this, because I don't really get my fingers dirty with technical stuff or data on that level.
I look at the homepage. I look at the location pages, if they even have them. They have the city pages. And I look at the structure of the website, the hierarchy. And then I like that to me, like if a website has a proper hierarchy, that to me is like a signal, like, okay, they have their shit together. Like whomever had their hands in this website knows what they're doing. Like to me, that website hierarchy is like a dead giveaway.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree.
To if they haven't or if they have.
But like you'll also dig into like Google Analytics and Search Console and stuff like that. So
like once we're if we do onboard work with a dispensary that is not very, very technically insufficient, like we'll jump into the analytics and Search Console and all that. But just from first like half hour looking at the website, it's the structure that I probably look at the most.
Yep. Okay, so outside of like doing what we tell you to do in all of our podcasts, how do you prevent that? I guess you don't. Like you just have to follow the things that we lay out in every episode of the podcast in order to prevent it. But if you've already come across a website that's got bad, I guess this would be my question, because we know how to prevent it in the first place. But like, let's say ABC dispensary comes to us and they want to hire us and they want to work with us to increase their revenue and their ranking, etc. And we take a look at their website and every aspect of it. And we realized that whoever was doing the SEO was doing it so badly and in such a shitty, poor manner that we now have our work cut out for us. How do we then go in and undo all of the shit work? Because you'd be better off with nobody ever having done any SEO in the first place in most instances. How do we undo shit?
Okay, it's like DOG just shit on the kitchen floor. Let's just cover it up with some newspaper and walk away.
Poor DOG. Listen to Charlie.
I don't mean it in like a literal sense. I mean just like as an example, like covering shit up. I think, we have a criteria that we work with, like the dispensary has to have a certain number of, like a certain presence online already. And if that's been compromised, we'll have to look at it. And the first thing you're asking, like, how do we undo the shit, basically?
Yeah, like the damage that's been done. How do we undo that?
We'd have to jump into the analytics. You can get a good sense from SEMrush, but jump into the analytics, see how many pages they have, like what their page count is, how their backlink profile is, make sure there's like nothing toxic. And then as far as the pages, see the top 20% pages. Typically, it's like 20% of the pages are going to carry 80% of the rankings. Let's just say there's 2 pages that are carrying that site. I would add on to those pages. I would have our badass analyst, CJ, she's a boss, come up with a plan to add on to the page that's already indexed, because that's going to move the needle the fastest. Come up with a plan to add in internal links. That's going to move the needle as well. If it's really shitty, like there's probably no links in the first place, because like for some reason, a bunch of agencies miss that. Add in internal links, and I would create city pages right away and then link those to the Google business profile and have those best practices like we laid out in the last episode with Amy Tillman, because she's a badass. She's awesome. And I would come up with a content plan and backlink plan moving forward. Does that answer that? I was like trying to put it together I'm trying to put it together in my head as I'm like articulating how to do the plan.
Yeah, I definitely think that. Yeah. And I was thinking like, if you've got like a really bad URL structure, you can 301 some pages and that kind of thing. So
I would do those pages the 2 pages that are like carrying the website, I would optimize those first. And then I would do the 301s to mitigate any risk. And then I would create those city pages with the proper website hierarchy and link them to your JMB and start pumping in some of that local content. Because what's really going to move the needle is like Denver dispensary, best Denver dispensary near me. Like those bottom of the funnel queries are what's going to start moving the needle for your website first. And then you can go to the bigger picture, like maybe some rec content of like how to roll a blunt or like, like whatever those other topics are that have a bunch of volume. You can supplement that content. But I would do the bottom of the funnel first and then clean up your backlink profile, make sure there's no toxic backlinks.
Yeah.
And then go from there.
And then
what would you do
I would have you do it.
Shut the fuck up. I would just wait for you to do it.
I'll wait for you to tell me what to do.
Anyway.
I spit on it. Well, like I said, I would pick apart their website in terms of the things that I know I'm good at. And then I would definitely start with like mapping out content, like what we're missing, what's already there that we can optimize, what we're missing, do a gap analysis, see what we're missing. Obviously, if we don't have locations, I would start with those, start with mapping out a calendar for blogs, that kind of thing, and just basically map out the next term or 2 terms in terms of like what we're doing for content between states, cities, blogs, strains, FAQs, those kind of things, and kind of map that out and not touch the technical stuff. That's what I would. I'd be like, that's a you problem.
Fuck out of here. Anyway,
I'm nothing if not. It's a great plan.
Just have a plan, though, right? Like don't go about it.
Yeah, like you can't have a plan if you don't know what you're trying to improve on, right? So you have to pick it apart initially, every which way, and then come up with a plan, whether it is your technical SEO, whether it's, they're not set up with Google Analytics or Search Console and we've got to do that, whether their menu sucks and we've got to rejig that, whether their content is non-existent or clearly written by AI. Like you can't fix what you don't know is a problem. So in order to do that, you have to identify the problem areas and then identify how you can either fix what's there or start over or whatever is going to be the best course for your dispensary at that point.
I forgot to mention, first thing first, I would run 2 different audits on the website. I'd run a Screaming Frog and then I'd run a SEMrush.
And you also need to, record any data that you have from SEMrush, Google Analytics, Google Search Console, Screaming Frog. So you have something to compare to so you can see how your efforts have, increased all of that data in a positive way. So that's definitely one of the other first things that you should do. Where were they when you started working with them and where are they now?
Benchmark it. Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, I think from there, that's a pretty solid plan. And then once you clean it up, you can see the results from your work. And then you can even scope from the results from that work. Mm-hmm. What's working, what's not working, what to focus on, what backlinks, what citations they like, didn't like, what are, et cetera, et cetera.
Yep. That would do it. Well, unless you've got anything else to say.
No, I'm looking at the episode outline. I think the
business thing we just like randomly spew off crap, but no, we literally have outlines for episodes.
I think the biggest thing really is like the missed opportunity. Well, it's like if your website has tanked.
Yeah.
Okay, like what's the cost of that, and then what's the bigger risk? Like fixing it, which is going to take it's going to take money, but the missed opportunity of not fixing it, then having to rebound because your competitors are fixing their websites tanking. So it's like the cost of inaction is I think is the biggest risk.
100%, 100%, and also like. Let's say that you thought you hired someone great and they turned out not to be great. You just got to swallow that, accept that mistakes were made, and then move forward. Because if you sit and live in that area of irritation and madness and blame, you're not actively working to fix it. So the whole time you sit in that, you're just wasting more time and costing your dispensary more money.
More time goes by.
Yeah, more time for your competitor to just chomp away.
I think that's about it. Huh? You covered it.
I think so. I do believe so. All right. Well, that was the end of episode 84. We'll be back. Yep, we will be back next week because it is not Thanksgiving next week. So we'll be back with another episode next week. In the meantime, you can find us on Apple Music, Spotify.
Apple Podcasts.
Oh, is it a whole different app?
Apple Podcasts.
Spotify, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube. So please comment, like, subscribe, give us a review, ask us any questions, and come back next week for a whole new episode.
Peace.
And that's a wrap for today's episode of the High Rankings podcast, brought to you by Dispensary-Growth, the preeminent SEO agency for dispensaries. Thank you for tuning in. We hope you found value in the insight and the tips we shared. If you did, please hit that subscribe button. And if you're feeling super generous, we would love it if you left us a review. If there's a specific topic you'd like us to cover in a future episode, or if you have any questions, you can go ahead and find us on LinkedIn or YouTube. We'll see you next time.